Hello! If you're here, you're probably wondering how to play Elden Ring with an item and enemy randomizer, and maybe even play it along with your friends. Well, you've come to the right place. This video should tell you everything you need to know to start playing randomized Elden Ring online. Apparently in the last 20 hours since my first tutorial, everything has changed, so if you're coming from the first video, this one should be much more helpful. Without further ado, let's jump right into this. So the first thing you guys are going to need is a legit copy of Elden Ring on Steam, and I'd recommend that you have a fresh install or a vanilla game file from your regular playthrough before doing any of this, because other mods might mess this up. At this point, you guys are going to need to head over to Nexus Mods and download 4 different things. I have them all linked in the description for you to easily access. The first one is going to be the Elden Ring key item and enemy randomizer. If you don't know how to download on Nexus Mods, you just go over to the files and you're going to hit manual download. Then you'll hit slow or fast download depending on what you have. Next, you're going to need the seamless co-op so you can actually play with your friends. Same thing, manual download. Third, the Elden mod loader. Same thing once again. Download that onto your desktop. And finally, there's going to be this GitHub repository. You're going to want to click on this part that says Mod Engine 2. That's going to take you to the actual download here of the zip file, where you are going to just go ahead and click download, and it should just download right away. I'd recommend you put all 4 of these files on your desktop for easy access. Now that you're on your desktop, this is where things get a little more interesting. This part's pretty easy to mess up if you're not paying attention, so try to follow closely. Now this first step is something you and the friends you're trying to play with should do. You should open up Steam, right click on Elden Ring, hover over Manage, and click on Browse Local Files. This will bring up your Elden Ring game folder. In here, I already have it, but you're going to need to open your Elden mod loader folder that you downloaded. And from there, these 3 files all need to go into this Elden Ring game folder. You can just drag them right in, drag and drop. This part is once again for you and all your friends to do. Next, we're going to install the seamless co-op. So you're going to open up that zip file and you're going to see a few things here. You're going to see a folder and an exe. This exe, the launch Elden Ring seamless co-op, you can just drag into the game folder again. But for this seamless co-op, what you want to do is you actually want to drag this Elden Ring seamless co-op.dll file into this mods folder here that you just dragged in. With the other file, the co-op password.ini, you can drag this whole folder in, and then you're going to want to delete the Elden Ring seamless co-op.dll inside this folder so that it's only in the mods folder that we just dragged it into. Another very important step for you and everyone you want to play with to do is to take this co-op password.ini that we put in the seamless co-op game folder, right click it. You're going to want to edit it with something like Notepad or Notepad++. You need to set a co-op password. Make sure you and all your friends have the exact same password. Otherwise, when you try to join each other's worlds, it won't work. Also, keep in mind that you won't be able to join each other's worlds until you're in Limgrave. For whatever reason, you can't join in the very starting area. You need to get to where you see Tree Sentinel first. At this point, you guys are almost done. Take a break, grab some water, stay hydrated, get ready for round 2. I'd recommend only one person do this part, because now we are going to open the mod engine zip file. And with that, I'm just going to drag it onto my desktop. I already have a mod engine folder on my desktop, so I'm going to skip it. But for you, just drag it onto the desktop. Now once again, I'd recommend only one person does this part, and you'll see why in a moment. We're on the final zip file, the Elden Ring randomizer. Open that up, click on the randomizer, drag that folder into your mod engine folder on your desktop. Now what you want to do is open that mod engine folder, and in here you can go ahead and delete the Dark Souls 3 stuff, the config, and the launcher. Don't need it, we're modding Elden Ring. But you are going to want to right click on the Elden Ring config and edit that with Notepad or Notepad++ or any text editor. And you need to change this path. This path is going to say mod. You're going to need to change that to randomizer and save the file. That's the folder that we just added. And now we're going to open that up. So now we've opened the Elden Ring item and enemy randomizer.exe, this right here in the randomizer folder. And it looks a little confusing at first, to be honest. You've got your item randomizer and your enemy randomizer. If you want items, you check items. You want enemies, you check enemies. And in here, there's all sorts of settings that you're able to play with to do all sorts of different item randomizations. And in here, there are all sorts of settings for enemy randomizer. Now, it defaults to the default enemy randomization at first, but if you hit customize, then you can edit the custom enemy placement and you can change the spawn rates of all of these enemies. It's done by percentages, so if you want to add a different type of enemy, say you want, 50% of your regular enemies to be something like turtles. You change that to 50, and now 50% of the enemies will be regular enemies, and 50% of them should be turtles, which is a lot of turtles. But before you go any further, make sure that you set your file path. This is very easily done by hitting select game exe and clicking on eldenring.exe. This is your default game launcher. Then, when you're all satisfied, you can go ahead and roll your seed however you want, separate enemy seed or just one seed, and hit randomize. When this is done, you should see a nice green done button. Now there's a reason that these last few steps have been something that only one person in your friend group should do, and that's because this mod engine folder with your randomizer that you just finished doing needs to be uploaded to somewhere that you can share it with your friends. I'd recommend Google Drive or Dropbox or any sort of cloud storage that you can throw this into where your friends can access it easily. I personally use Google Drive. I just drag it from my desktop into here, and it's like 2,000 files, but it's fairly small. It'll just take a few minutes to upload. And once you do that, you need to make sure it's public for your friends to actually download it, and you should be good to go. If you end up not sharing this and trying to randomize your seeds on your own PCs, what happens is that the enemies desync for whatever reason. It's a little bit of a bug right now. The creator's working on a patch, but what happens is that you won't see the same enemies on your screen, and that's not very much fun for anybody. Now, the absolute final step is to launch your game and see if it actually worked. So you're going to launch the launchmod_eldenring.batch file in your mod engine folder on your desktop or wherever you put it. I'd recommend making a shortcut to this, or you can just open the mod engine folder, but let's see what happens. When we launch it, Elden Ring launches right away, and Seamless Co-op uses its own servers, so you don't need to worry about being banned for online play or anything. It automatically boots in offline mode, and in a moment, Elden Ring, and when you hit start, you should see Seamless Co-op mod. If you don't see this, something went horribly wrong, and you should probably start from the beginning. Now you can see my wonderful character here, ready to start another playthrough with my friends on the Elden Ring multiplayer randomizer. If you guys enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you could drop a like or subscribe and show your support. We do general gaming content here and apparently tutorials now, so that's something new. Anyways, my name is Spicy, and I'll see you guys next time.